Hello students, welcome to the second part of electrovalent bond or ionic bond. In this video, we are going to see the properties or characteristics of electrovalent compound. Okay, so what is the learning outcome of this? After watching this video, student will be able to apply the characteristics of electrovalent compound in various applications. So let us proceed further. See, the first property of electrovalent compound or electrovalent bond is that in the crystals of ionic compound, the oppositely charged ions are mutually surrounded by each other in orderly arrangement. Thus, ionic compounds are solid at room temperature. So remember, ionic compound or electrovalent compound, they are the solid at room temperature. If you are going to see here, why they are the solid, why this ionic compound or electrovalent compound are solid? Because here, see here, at the center there is a positive charge and it is surrounded by the negative charge. So you are knowing in opposite charges there is a strong electrostatic force of attraction is there. So strong bond is formed and they are orderly arranged. Now, one particular manner, they are having the different structure. So, electrovalent compounds, they are the solid at the room temperature, okay, because there is a tight packing is there, okay. Here there is a intermolecular space is less between them, okay. So, they are having the particular arrangement, hence, electrovalent compound, they are the solid at the room temperature. You can see here in NaCl also, Na plus at the center and 4Cl minus are surrounded by it, or you can take here Cl, it is surrounded by the 4Na plus, means there is a strong bond is formed and there is a strong attraction between them, hence these are the solid at room temperature. Okay, so first property is that electrovalent compounds or ionic compounds are solid at room temperature. So let us proceed further. See the second property. The ionic compounds have high melting and boiling points. Okay. So what is melting point? Melting point means it is the temperature at which solid get converted into the liquid or solid start converted into the liquid. That temperature we are going to call as a melting point. And what is boiling point? Boiling point is the temperature at which liquid get converted into the vapor. That temperature we are going to call as a boiling point. Okay. So see here, what is the property ionic compounds have? How it is high melting point and boiling point. Why it is having the high melting point and boiling point? Because the bond which is formed between them, which bond? Electrovalent bond is formed. Strong electrovalent bond is formed. Okay, see here center red color it is the sodium and blue color is the chlorine. Means there is a strong attraction is between them. Hence, it is not, when you are going to start heating them, it is not easily broken. Take the example of your NaCl. You start heating it, it is not going to immediately melted. Okay, but when the certain temperature is reached, that time it gets the melted. Okay, so they are having, always remember, ionic compounds have high melting point and high boiling point because strong bond is there. Which bond is there? Electrovalent bond is existing between the ions. That's why the ionic compound have high melting point and high boiling point. Okay, so this is the second property or second characteristics, that is ionic compounds have high melting point and high boiling point. Next, ionic solids do not conduct electricity as ions are not free to move. Once the ionic compound is melted, the ions are free to move and conduct the electricity. Okay, see here two pictures are here. Is it visible to you? See here in the first structure it is the solid. Okay, solid in solid state. They are tightly arranged. There is no space. These ions cannot be easy free from one place to other place. Okay. But when they are the infused state or in molten state or in aqueous state, are you knowing the meaning of what is fused state or aqueous state. Okay, fused state means what? Fused means suppose I can draw here. I am having one beaker. Okay, in that beaker you have to take that solid NaCl. We take the example of NaCl as NaCl is electrovalent compound. Okay, now I have to form fused NaCl. So what I am going to do? Whether I am going to add the water here? No. Fused means what? There is no solvent is present, but you have to make the ions free. How you are going to make the ion free? You are going to make the ion free by heating that beaker. When you are going to melt it. Okay, when it is melted, that time also ions are free. Here there is no solvent is there in the fused state. So simply remember melted or fused state. Okay, so ions are formed by two ways, by what to say, by melting it or by dissolving in particular solvent. Or aqueous means what? Aqua. Heard the word aqua? Aqua means the water. Take I am having another beaker, in that I have taken the same your ionic compound, that is the NaCl, and I have poured the water here. Water it is the solvent. H2O I am going to add here. Okay, so when you are going to stir it means when you are going to shake it or stir it, that time there is a separation of ion. Which ions are formed? Na plus, Cl minus. Okay, and you are dissolving it in water, right? Aqueous state. Aqueous means you are adding aqua also here. Okay, so which ion? Water ions are also present. So one is H plus and another is OH minus is also there. Okay, getting to me? Okay, so in fused state, these two ions are absent. When you are going to fuse it, H plus and OH minus ions are absent. But when you are going to take the aqueous solution, in aqueous solution, these two are also present. Okay, clear? So in aqueous, H plus OH minus are present, whereas in molten state or fused state, water is absent, only Na plus and Cl minus ions are there. Okay, so for the when they are in the solid state, so our third property is that in solid state they do not conduct the electricity, because there is a no free movement of the electron is there. Hence in solid state they are not going to conduct the electricity. But when they are melted or dissolved in particular solvent, that time they are free to move from one place to other place. Hence they are going to conduct the electricity. Okay, getting to me? Means remember, ionic solids do not conduct the electricity, whereas when they are dissolved in solvent like water, that we are going to call as a aqueous, and or when they are in fused state means by heating you are going to melt it and making the ions free, that time they are going to conduct the electricity. Okay. Similarly, solutions of ionic compound conduct the electricity. Okay. So see here, positive ions, these positive ions, they are going to move towards the negative terminal of the battery, whereas the negative ion, they are going to move towards the positive terminal. Okay, so remember, solids, they are not going to conduct the electricity, but at fused state or in aqueous state, these ionic compounds, they conduct the electricity. Next property is that ionic compounds are usually soluble in polar solvent. Okay, so there are the two types of solvent. One is polar solvent and another is the non-polar solvent. So what is the polar solvent? Polar solvent means which is going to produce the two pole. One is positive pole and another is the negative pole. Take the example of your water. Water is the polar solvent. One is having the positive charge and another is having the negative charge. Okay, OH plus and OH minus, right? So this is going to produce the two poles, hence it is the polar. And remember, polar solvents having the high dielectric constant. Take the other example, benzene. Benzene, it is the non-polar solvent, C6H6. Here there is a equal distribution, there is a same charge is there, so hence it is the non-polar, they are having the low dielectric constant. Okay, another example, liquid ammonia, NH4OH, it is also the polar solvent, NH4OH. It is polar solvent, and in polar solvent, ionic compounds are easily soluble or easily dissolved. पाण्यामध्ये तुम्ही मीठ घातलं, पाण्यामध्ये मीठ घातलं आणि स्टर केलं तर ते काय होतं, लगेच डिझॉल्व्ह होतं. तेच जर तुम्ही नॉन पोलार मध्ये घ्या, तुम्ही बेन्झिन घ्या किंवा अल्कोहोल घ्या और युअर ऑइल्स ऑल्सो, जर तुम्ही ऑइल वगैरे घेतलेत, टेक दी ऑइल अँड ऍड NaCl, सोडियम क्लोराइड इन दॅट अँड स्टर इट, वेदर दॅट salt is dissolved in that oil? No. But when you are going to take the water is the polar solvent. In polar solvent, your ionic compounds are soluble because they are having the high dielectric constant. Okay, but they are insoluble in non-polar like organic solvent. Okay, non-polar, they are the insoluble. Okay, these solvents have low dielectric constant, such as, which are the examples of non-polar solvent? That is the benzene, carbon tetrachloride, okay, CS2, carbon sulfide. These are the examples of that carbon tetrasulfide. These are the examples of non-polar solvent, and they are important one, next property, that they are the mostly inorganic compound. So remember, ionic compounds are mostly inorganic compound. Okay, one more trick I would like to give you. In organic compound, what is present there? There is a carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sometimes nitrogen also present. So these are the present. Mostly carbon, hydrogen, oxygens are present in the organic compound, but in inorganic compound, metal and non-metal is present. Okay, see in your compound, that is NaCl. Inorganic compound consists of metal, non-metals and metalloids. Okay, so tell me, in NaCl, one is metal, other is non-metal. Okay, so this NaCl, it is organic or inorganic? It is the inorganic because it consists of metal and not metal. Hence, ionic compounds are the inorganic compounds. Okay, you are getting the difference between organic and inorganic. Organic means it consists of mostly carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. And inorganic means what? It consists of metal, non-metal and metalloid, that we are going to call as a inorganic. Okay, so ionic compounds are mostly non-volatile. Are you heard this word, volatile or non-volatile? Volatile means which vaporizes easily, that we are going to call as a volatile. Remember, have you seen the camphor at your home? Kapur. You have seen the kapur? Okay, when you are going to keep it in an open space, its size get reduced. Why? Because it is the volatile. Okay, त्याचं साईज कमी कमी होताना तुम्हाला दिसेल का, तर ते volatile आहे. बरोबर, volatile means which vaporizes easily. But your ionic compounds, how they are? Ionic compounds, they are the non-volatile. Non-volatile means which are not going to vaporize easily. They remain as it is at room temperature. Okay, have you seen your NaCl, that is common salt, which you are going to use in your kitchen, whether it is vaporized? No. Why? Because it is the non-volatile. Okay, you are going to do the study also. You are going to prepare for the sometime for exam only. You are going to prepare, like, right? Means you are doing the volatile study. No, you are the good students. You are going to retain it in your mind. That is non-volatile. So you have to do the non-volatile study also. So these are the properties, 5 properties that we have seen. Again, I am going to repeat. First property that we have seen, it is that is inorganic compounds are solid at room temperature. Second is that they are having high melting point and high boiling point. Third is that ionic solids do not conduct the electricity, but in fused or aqueous state, they are going to conduct the electricity. Next, ionic compounds are soluble in polar solvent, while insoluble in non-polar solvents. And lastly, but not least, that is ionic compounds are mostly non-volatile. Okay, so these are the 5 properties of the electrovalent compound. Okay, so today we will stop here. See you in next lecture about the covalent bond. Thank you.